Alright, cool. So before I get into anything, I want you to actually stop and ask yourself a question. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to be above average? Why do you not want to be just simply an average Joe? You know? Because most people say they want it. They watch the videos, they watch the motivational clips, they watch the David Goggins, they watch the Marlon motivational clips. There's motivational TikToks that are in black and white, right? And then they talk about it with their friends that they did this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this, right? But when it comes to actually sitting down and doing the work, especially consistently and quietly without anyone watching, no spectators, most people don't even show up. So why do you want it? Is it because you don't want to struggle with money? Like you've seen certain people around you that have struggled financially? Maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your parents, your family. Is it because you want to prove something to yourself? Or is it because you want a certain lifestyle? Or is it that you just simply just refuse to be average? Whatever your reason is, hold on to it. Because everything I'm about to tell you in this video requires that reason that you specifically got in your mind to allow you to keep going when shit gets hard, when shit hits the fan. And trust me, it will. But anyways, this is the blueprint. Let's get into it. Alright, the first thing I want to cover on the blueprint, especially if you're 18, 17, you know, 19, is to get a job. And this is what I've done exactly. And I don't mean this in like some boring generic way, like generic advice. I mean in a very, very intentional way. Getting a job, part-time job, full-time, whatever, right? Especially at a young age, like 17, 18, 19, this does three things that you genuinely cannot learn in any other situation, in any other way. Right? First, it puts money in your pocket. You put some dough in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? You get some bread. Now, it's not life changing money. It's not like you won the lottery and you're now like swimming in a pool of money with like Jeff Bezos and like Elon Musk and that. Nah, nothing like that. But it's yours. You worked hard for it. Because when you start earning your own money, you start thinking different. You'll be like, oh shit, like you start looking at it like, fuck, I gotta put these many hours in to get this amount of money. And you start wasting on bullshit, which would be, things like expensive clothes, random ass like subscriptions, you know, unnecessary like eating out, like takeaway, like food and drink, right? Those things, you start wasting on that type of bullshit because you know the value and the work you had to get to be able to pay for that, right? Second thing, it teaches you basic life skills that, frankly, school never did, right? How to show up on time, how to deal with people, especially at work, that you don't like, how to take instructions, work part as a team, have responsibility, and know how to handle responsibility. It sounds like very simple, things, right? But a lot of young guys, especially young men, like sometimes we generally lack this, and it keeps us back from achieving our potential. And the third thing, and I think this is the biggest one, like the biggest factor, is that it allows you to build discipline, especially those days when you don't want to go and wake up super early in the freezing cold in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, for shit, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up for shifts that you don't even want to do, that you don't even feel like you just don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Can't be asked. showing up even though when you're tired, getting through a long shift and still going home to work on your own goals, your own ambitions, your own dreams, your own goals, that discipline to be able to do things, even though if you don't feel like it, is the foundation of everything that is on this list. The money isn't the point at this stage. It's really not. The habits are. Trust me, do not skip a step. Next thing, you need to get your ass in the gym. No, non-negotiable, non-negotiable. I don't want to hear it. Oh, gym, it's very far away and it's expensive and bro, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay? You genuinely need to stop making excuses and start looking yourself in the mirror. All right. I had a moment in time where I was 90 kg, bro. I'm 5'7", 5'8". I was 90 kg. I'll wear t-shirt, my fucking belly be poking out. Yeah, man tees, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to the point, bro, where you need to, have a very good look at yourself in the mirror, bro, and realize like, shit, something needs to change. And I'm not saying just because of how you look, like, fancy reasons or physical, but the gym also helps you in the mental aspect. It elevates your confidence, elevates yourself, your self-esteem, the way you carry yourself with certain demeanor, with certain mannerism, with certain mannerisms, that it enables you to function in a way and to move in a way that nothing really else does. Especially when you train consistently, like you're doing weightlifting, you're doing cardio, you're pushing your body, you know what I'm saying? You develop a relationship with discomfort. You learn that the hard things get easier the more you show up, right? If you think about at first, when you first start the gym, you will be sore as fuck for 3 to 5 days, depending, because you haven't exposed your body that many times to the weight lifting, to lift, to that, certain exercise or weight. And then when you start to, go for like, let's say a month, 2 months, 3 months, you realize that, you know, the recovery is not as bad. It's quicker than it was when you first started. And also, that patience, especially when it comes to training, it takes months, not weeks. You learn that small, consistent actions that you'd be doing every day compounds into massive, tangible results over time. That lesson, that transfers into every other area of your life. For training, best tips I can give you, best advice I can give you, lift weights for at least, I'd say personally, 4 times a week. Okay. Focus on progressive overload. Trying to do more than you did last time. Eat enough protein. Get enough sleep. The basics done consistently will transform your body realistically within a year. And also adding cardio too. 2-3 sessions a week. Nothing crazy. Walking, incline treadmill, cycling. It's good for your heart, good for your mental health, good for body fat as well. And something that I would also highly recommend and highly encourage is getting to some form of combat sports or martial arts. Boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, right? Whatever interests you, because combat sport teach you something that the gym doesn't really teach. It teaches you how to stay calm under pressure, how to face something uncomfortable and not freeze. Confidence isn't just physical, it's mental. And honestly, it's one of the best social environments you can put yourself in. You'll be surrounded by like-minded people who are, disciplined and also hardworking. All right, we're going to move on to the next section. This section is probably the most important for your long-term future, especially for as a young man. And this is learning how to build high-value skills and build income. A part-time job will give you discipline and some money, right? That part-time job or even that full-time job you're getting right now, you might think, yeah, it's cool, you're earning like, 1 to 2 grand a month, right? But realistically, in the long run, that will cap you. It's a cap on that. There is a ceiling on that until you get promoted, and promotions are slow, sometimes never guaranteed. So while you're working, you need to be able to build skills, high level, high value skills that have the potential to go way beyond that, what you're earning at the moment. What do I mean by high value skills? High value skills are something that the market values, something that the market needs, but as well as it's enough of a pain in the ass that the market is willing to give top dollar for it. Things that solve real problems, things that are hard enough that most people don't can't be asked, can't be bothered to even start learning how to fix those problems. Examples I'll give you: editing videos, social media, what I'm doing right now, sales, agency. These are all skills you can learn simply for free, like free, cheap, online, like straight from YouTube. And you can start doing your shit, like start working from day one, you know, or even like, content creation, like social media content creation, which I'm doing right now, which I personally think is one of the best avenues. Building an audience around something that you know and you care about. You get monetized through brand deals, sponsorships, affiliates, have the ability to produce your own and sell your own products, sell your services, coaching, communities, things like that. The goal isn't really to quit your job tomorrow. No, no, no. The people who are saying, yeah, in 3 months, how to get 10K per month, bullshit. The people who do it online, this fucking fake ass Miami gurus, bro, that rent their Lamborghini Aventador and their Rolex Datejust and all that shit. Like, fuck all of that, bro. This shit's gonna take time, right? This shit's not gonna make you 6 figures a year tomorrow night. No, no. The goal is spend 1 to 2 hours every day building something that could replace that income, then exponentially like grow quietly, consistently, while everyone is fucking watching Netflix and gooning, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you actually think about like the people around you are not doing this shit. If you're watching this video, it tells me a lot about the type of person you are. If you're already here now, if you haven't clicked off already, it already tells me the type of person you are. Okay, so like 2,000 a month sounds decent when you're 18, but it's not really where you want to be when you're around the age of 25, 30, 35. Bro. Start building now. All right, now I'm going to move on to the next section, which is dating and relationships. Now, let's talk about something that nobody in this space seems to really give a balanced take on: dating and relationships. Currently, right now, the advice is you hear online, the mainstream advice is don't date. A woman are not worth it. Women will will like basically take the piss out of you. Women will scam you. Women will do this, that, right? Women will cheat on you, and it's quite a negative depiction. And or like a lot of people pushing the MGTOW thing, like MGTOW, which is like men go their own way, and incel culture, like just completely not bothering with dating and all that stuff. Honestly, bro, Don't listen to that bullshit. Okay. If you have the opportunity to go on a date, go on a date. Have a relationship. Experience it. Because relationship, you know, it teaches you a lot of things about yourself, about communication, about boundaries, about what you actually want in life, what you actually want from a woman that you can't learn in any other way, you know? Don't be the guy who just like avoids all of it, like I mentioned earlier, for some fucking podcast, some fucking alpha male because they told you women is a distraction. It will just make you socially awkward as fuck. You'll be a social freak, like you'll be an antisocial freak. But I also want to preface here, and I do want to highlight, right? There is a caveat to this. Be very intentional about who you give your time to and your energy to. Because the wrong relationship with the wrong person at this stage of your life can set you back years. If you're with someone who doesn't support you in any of your endeavors and any of your goals, who pulls you away from your discipline, who creates constant drama, toxicity, that relationship is going to cost you, not just emotionally. It costs you your time, focus, money, and your momentum. All things that you cannot afford to waste right now. So the filter is simple. Does this person add value to my life or drain my life, drain my mental energy? Are their values aligned with my values? Do they make me feel better or do they make me perform better or worse? They experience growth, but never lose yourself in the process. Your goals, your dreams, that shit doesn't go on pause for anyone. All right, let's move on to the next section, and I'll keep this one simple. All right, avoid drugs and alcohol. If you drink, you know what I'm saying, severely limited, I understand, right? You're gonna be out like social events, parties, I understand. You know, you're gonna be out, and I get it. You might have a drink or two, cool, and I'm not gonna appreciate you, right? You're an adult. You have responsibility. You make your own choices, your own decisions. But here's the practical reality, right? Drugs and alcohol will consistently drain you. They will drain your mental energy and your clarity. It will drain your pockets, your energy, your drive, your motivation, your discipline for anything. Everything on this blueprint requires you to be sharp, focused, and consistent. That is very hard to maintain if you're regularly getting wasted every weekend and getting shit faced every weekend. At the same time, wrecking your body as well. Most people around you, 18, 19, 20, right? I understand. This is what I'm seeing right now on Instagram. I see a lot of like people, on my feed. They be drinking. They be, going to clubs, going to party, going whatever, right? And that's their choice. It's fine. That's their life. But you need to ask yourself this: is that really moving me forward, or is it just comfortable and social, and I'm doing it because everyone else around me is doing it? The guys who actually make serious progress in their late teens and early 20s are always the ones that quietly just opted out of that lifestyle. And not in a weird way, and not in a preachy way, right? They just had better things to do. There are other things to focus on. That better things to do with their time and their money. That more things to focus on. That shit that was more of a priority than just going out and getting shit faced every weekend. Right? Be that guy. Next section, right, is investing in your appearance. Oh my god, bro. Investing in your appearance as a young man. This is pivotal. And it gets slept on so much. And it shouldn't be slept on. It's how you present yourself to the world. How you present yourself matters, bro. And a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter. Bro, it matters. It matters, bro. Not because of vanity. Not because of vanity reasons. But appearance is communication. before you say a word, before you open your mouth to anyone, there already been a judgment on how you look and how you carry yourself. So invest in, you know, get a haircut every 2 to 3 weeks, bro. You know, that fresh fade, that fresh cut, fresh trim, that does more for your confidence and how people look at you. Especially, for your channel, could go see you got fresh trim, beard line up, like everything, you know what I'm saying, everything clean. She's gonna find you more attractive, bro. Like, no doubt. Like, you look fresh, you clean. Saying, find a good barber, right, around in your town, in your city, whatever. Stick with them. Next thing I want to highlight is also to swallow your personal hygiene. Okay, bro. It's not that difficult, guys, bro. Shower daily. Shower daily. Use good deodorant. Get a good fragrance. Moisturizer. Look after your skincare. Okay. Me, I currently use face wash. I got sunscreen, like yeah, for my face. Okay. And bro, that's about it, bro. And maybe an exfoliating scrub, whatever, but that's it. Wa- uh, Wash, exfoliate, moisturize. Done. Anything else is optional, like extra if you want, right? But it's basic shit, guys. It's basic shit, and you're surprised how many guys neglect that, man. They'll be neglecting that. But yeah, man. But and also another thing is building simple wardrobe that actually fits you. You know, styles that you fuck with. You know, you don't need to spend like a whole bag. You're not going to Gucci. You're not going to Dior. You're dropping like $5. You're dropping 4K, 5K. No, bro. Honestly, you go to H&M, go to Zara, bro. Like those places, yeah, they got some good fitting basic clothes, clean plain tees, bro. Like t-shirts, jeans, trousers, maybe a bomber jacket, maybe a leather like you know what I'm saying? Get some nice trainers, nice shoes. Maybe one nice casual fit, 1 or 2 smart casual fits. Clothes that fit properly, you know what I'm saying? Fit, clothes that tailored properly, fit properly. 100% will look always better than the expensive fucking Gucci tracksuit, bro. Like, come on. You just look like a walking with billboard, right? And when you do this, it makes you look good, right? And when you look good, you feel good. And you feel good, you perform better. Simple as it is, bro. And then the other thing I want to jump on is your social circle, right? This is the last section, and this one's is underrated. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with, right? You've probably heard that before, but it's genuinely practically true. If in your circle, your closest circle, you have friends that goon all day, drink, fuck around, have no ambition, spend a lot of money, party with them, mock you, and don't support you for trying to do something, you will slowly drift towards that. You will get sucked into that. It's just how it is. We tend to have a tendency to mirror people around us. It's human nature. So be intentional about your circle. You don't need to cut people off aggressively just because they're not doing what you're doing, or they're not doing anything remotely like that's related just because they're not doing like let's say for example you want to do business and they're doing, they want to get a job. They'll cut them off because they don't want to do business or they're not entrepreneurial. Fine. But start gravitating to people who actually, you know, who could be building something on themselves. It doesn't have to be a business, it could be something else. People in the gym, people working on skills, people who talk about ideas and goals rather than just fucking like talk about the girls and how many things they clocked this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that shit. Like, bro, these people that I'm talking about, they exist. You have to find, you have to find them in places that normally have high value people like, gym, martial art classes, online communities, networking events, even through like things like content creation, is social media, like, this way you'll be able to find these people. And here's the thing, when you start doing everything that I've highlighted in this video, the blueprint, you will start to naturally gravitate and attract like-minded individuals because your energy within yourself, it changes. Your conversation, your charisma, your the way you carry yourself, it all changes. You become someone that other ambitious people, they want to surround themselves with. Protect your circle. It changes everything and it shapes everything. So that's the blueprint. Just to highlight and for the summary. Number one, get a job, build discipline. Number two, train your body. Number three, build high value skills alongside your current income. Number four, be intentional with relationships. Number five, stay away from things that slow you down. Number six, invest in how you present yourself. And also, finally, number seven, build a social circle that pushes you forward. None of this is complicated, guys. All of this requires consistency, and a lot of people won't do it. That's why most people will remain average. You clicked on this video and you watched this video till the end for a reason. Don't let it just be another video that you watched and you forget about and pick, you just like, oh, I'm gonna go back to doing some bullshit. Okay. Pick one thing from this list, one section from the blueprint, and start today. Focus today. And make an active effort. But anyways, if this helped you at all, please drop a comment, drop a like, drop a sub. Helps more, for me in the algorithm, and obviously allows me to be able, keep pushing this type of content for you guys. Right. I'll read every single comment and reply to every comment. And if you got any other video ideas or anything that you want to talk about, with me, or you want to comment, or I'll be happy to get in a discussion and conversation with you guys. But other than that, I'll catch you boys in the next one.